The latest update for Digimon New Century introduces two new Digimon, Erlangmon and Plesiamon. Additionally, a new event introduces Taichi and Yamato's Digivice Color. Iron Man 1986, a Bilibili user and regular contributor to player guides, offers an extensive breakdown of Erlangmon's skills. Without further ado, let's begin with the normal skill, Hawk Dance. For veteran players, this skill is self-explanatory. But for newcomers, what does inflicts true damage on other targets equal to a certain percentage of the original damage mean? For example, the original damage dealt to the enemy Gabumon BF is 376,982, and their teammates also receive true damage of 188,491, which is exactly half. Its ultimate skill, Summon Howling Dog, is single target with a damage coefficient of 600%, with Seal for 1 turn plus Prevent Revival. Mechanism adds 2 layers of True Word. Although the ultimate skill cannot exceed the double action limit, actively sealing has more preemptive value than the passive seal of Goldramon X. Unfortunately, it lasts only 1 turn. However, when combined with the signature skill, the ultimate skill can be used multiple times in a single turn. With the added prevention of revival and a 600% damage coefficient, along with the removal from the signature skill and the enhancement from the passive skill, defeating opponents is not difficult. Through personal testing, even if our Erlangmon is sealed, it can still trigger counterattacks because counterattacks belong to the category of signature skills. As for its signature skill, Tengu's Moon Craving. The exclusive mark Vigilant of Erlangmon is its core value. First, the alert always follows the current active character, meaning whoever moves, the alert follows. However, at the end of the enemy's turn, the alert automatically disappears and its accompanying effects also disappear. Furthermore, the strength of the alert lies in this. After the enemy actively releases ultimate skills and signature skills, accumulating 2 times, the next enemy unit to act will have all its buffs deleted before its action, regardless of resistance, including framed buffs, and then will be hit by an ultimate skill with a 600 coefficient. This segment of the skill has been optimized and enhanced because when the enemy exceeds the double action limit, it also counts as an accumulation. This can lead to a situation where double action characters are directly knocked out or severely damaged. Moreover, when the target under alert attacks are Erlangmon, if it is a single target attack, the final damage will be reduced by 90%, which has a certain restraining effect on Gabumon BF. Finally, if the target under alert gives our Erlangmon action-restricting control skills, such as Charm or Taunt, they will be ineffective, meaning they won't be controlled. With the exclusive chip, Erlangmon won't be prohibited from acting by the alert target, meaning it won't be paralyzed by advanced control skills like Paralysis. If you think that Erlangmon can be completely unaffected by control skills like Gabumon BF, you are mistaken. In the following 3 situations, Erlangmon can still be influenced by control, affected by reverse damage. Through my testing, reverse damage does indeed belong to control skills, but it is different from prohibitive actions and action-restricting control, belonging to the 3rd type of control. Therefore, for example, Eosmon can carry the alert, rendering Erlangmon's attacks useless due to the presence of reverse injury. Affected by silence. Speaking of this, there will surely be players questioning the silence effect applied by passive skills, despite the signature skill stating that it is not affected by action restrictions. But through practical testing, it will be affected by the silence imposed passively by talents. Once silenced, the counterattack of the signature skill cannot be triggered. Affected by static electricity. Because the prerequisite for not being controlled is that the alert target actively applies control, if Hercules Kabutorimon X activates static electricity, Erlangmon will inevitably be paralyzed for 1 turn before acting because there is no alert on Hercules Kabutorimon X. Another mention is that Hercules Kabutorimon X's exclusive chip effect, if activated proactively, can also paralyze Erlangmon, as it is an invincible marked control skill. Passive skill, Clear Source Mystical Path. Resident damage reduction, 50%. Mechanism effect, each layer of True Word adds 10% attack and 10% critical resistance, up to 9 layers, and the critical resistance value is directly equal to the critical rate. Card attribute, not affected by crystallization. If combined with critical resistance plugins, when Erlangmon reaches full layers, it will have nearly 220 critical resistance. And as a light element Digimon, it can also gain up to 20 critical resistance from Gallantmon X's Aura, up to 32 critical resistance from Technology, and an additional 20 critical resistance from Alphanamon X or the exclusive chip, resulting in nearly 300 critical resistance. In other words, plugins don't need to consider critical strikes, instead they can focus on critical damage. In conclusion, that's all for the skill analysis. It can be said that this Digimon has distinct characteristics, high output, and strong functionality, but there cannot exist an absolute invincible Digimon. Being restricted is inevitable. As an output-type Digimon biased towards meat teams, Erlangmon is worth trying. But to balance the current decline of meat teams, the next meat team support is needed to resolve the situation. So, 2 days after the official release of this brand new Digimon, in the Chinese game Digimon New Century, Erlangmon has finally been added to the official reference book. Despite its name being mistakenly unveiled as Erlangmon at Digimon Con, its official profile confirms it as Erlangmon, inspired by Erlang Shen, a Chinese Taoist deity with a third eye that sees the truth in the middle of the forehead. It controls celestial hounds to attack evil spirits. Erlangmon is a mega-level vaccine attribute Digimon, a deity Digimon born from the data of a certain warrior from Chinese legend. Acting in accordance with its conviction to rid all Digimon of wickedness, Erlangmon is an earnest being regarded by others as an honest and upstanding Digimon. Erlangmon wields a Sanjian Liang Grandao, a three-pronged, double-edged blade, as freely as if it were an extension of its own body. It is also accompanied by its divine weapon, Kotenken, meaning howling celestial dog, which has a giant, dog-like head and a will of its own. This weapon is Erlangmon's beloved companion and can appear at a moment's notice to deliver a surprise attack whether it has been summoned or not. Erlangmon also possesses a remarkable transformation ability that is believed to allow it to change into any other Digimon. However, though Erlangmon is able to perfectly reproduce the appearance of another Digimon, it cannot copy their abilities. As such, its transformations are often used to create disturbances or perform covert missions. Finally, the third eye on its forehead can identify both its opponent's weaknesses and the evil within them. When Erlangmon uses this eye alongside its shape-shifting tactics, those opposing it or hiding wickedness in their hearts are faced with an opponent that is almost impossible to escape. Its special moves consist of Yosen Enbu, meaning Eagle Point Waltz, in which Erlangmon swings its double-edged blade around its own body to perform a circular slice that takes out surrounding enemies in one blow, and Shorai Kotenken, which summons Erlangmon's divine weapon to chomp on an enemy's digicore. Something interesting is that in the game, Erlangmon evolves from the fusion of Metal Garurumon and Cherubimon. While in the evolution animation, only Metal Garurumon is shown evolving. In the story animation, Cherubimon appears. It's intriguing how they associate Erlangmon's canine companion with Metal Garurumon and continue with the fusion system instead of creating an entirely new evolutionary line for it.
フラッシュ